a charge related to a gun. Hunter Biden describes that he was obviously using drugs during a period in which he went and bought a gun. And when you buy a gun and you fill out the forms, the background check forms, you have to attest that you were not addicted to drugs. He has since, in his memoir and in interviews, has said that he was. So that is clearly, or it would seem, some kind of a violation. So again, those are the two things that we know investigators have homed in on. Now, there could be other things, but the Republicans are asking a much broader set of questions, including about business ventures that never got off the ground, and whether his father, certainly President Biden, had any business interests in some of the things that Hunter was involved in, and other members of the family.
Important to think about that scope of it. Andrew, what's your reaction to the DOJ investigation and probe? I mean, we're hearing bits and pieces. There's obviously been complaints about, have people covered this story enough? Or is Hunter Biden or the Biden family getting a pass in a variety of ways? It's become a politically charged issue, even if there is not a lot of meat on the bone to go and work with. What do you say?
Well, I can't say much about the politics. I mean, that's likely to kind of continue fanning the flames, creating issues maybe where none really exist for the purpose of political advantage. That's how these things seem to work out on that side. But on the legal side, I can tell you that if the Department of Justice and the FBI have taken a hard look at this, and what they're walking away with or considering towards the end of the investigation, if that's where we are, is what seems like a fairly minor potential false statement charge and some tax issues. That is a far, far distance from where the primary concern from several of the legislators on the Hill is still focused. That is, night and day from a case based on political corruption issues or illegal business ventures and influence peddling and things of that nature. And let's keep in mind also, Laura, that so many of the things that people think of in that lane of, let's say, influence peddling, those practices are unsavory, possibly unethical, not things that we want associated with our political leadership, but oftentimes not specifically illegal. It takes you back to those political corruption statutes, which we all know are very tied to the idea of being able to prove in court a specific quid pro quo. The acceptance of benefit in return for doing some official act is generally the way that's framed. And those are tough cases to make. So it sounds like the government could be pretty far from what people initially thought they would find in this case.
I mean, when you mention quid pro quo, I think everyone remembers the first impeachment and the idea of the difficulties, even the impeachment managers, in being able to try to make a case, obviously outside of the court of law. But we'll continue to follow what's happening here. It's important to know how all of this will resolve and in what capacity. We'll follow the story. Thank you so much, both of you.